My name is Tim Sutinen from PrivacyProShop.com. In this video, I'll cover where and what type of phone you'll need to buy for use with GrapheneOS, as well as the various things you should know about the phones before making a purchasing decision. I have timestamped this video for easy navigation, as there is a lot of information. Which phones are compatible with GrapheneOS? Ironically, the only phones compatible with GrapheneOS are the Google Pixel phones. I know it's weird. De-Googled phones with Google hardware. That's because Google is friendly to developers, and they are the only Android devices with proper firmware support for alternative operating systems, and have full firmware level support for Wi-Fi MAC address randomization, which is an important privacy feature. And they also include the Titan M dedicated security chip that makes it impossible for anyone to brute force their way into your device. Did you know that VPNs don't make you anonymous? If you want true anonymity, you will need to use onion-routed Lokinet VPN mode exit nodes. When you must stay private, make sure you use Lokinet VPN mode. Go to PrivacyProShop.com to get access to high-performance Lokinet VPN exit nodes. Try it for just $1. Pay anonymously with all major cryptocurrencies. Credit cards are accepted too. At the moment, April of 2023, the Pixel 4, 5, 6, and 7 series phones are compatible and supported. The complete support list is found at GrapheneOS.org/FAQ. Where and how to buy a compatible Google Pixel phone for GrapheneOS use. Retail stores. Google's main retailer is Best Buy, so go there, put on your COVID mask, wide-brimmed hat, dark sunglasses, and pay for it with cash. Before going to the store, you'll want to check that they have it in stock. They often end up having only one or two models or none at all. Check with their website before you go there. It seems to be pretty accurate. Best Buy sometimes has specials for these phones on their site, so it pays to know about the prices before you go in the store. When you buy it, make sure you're buying an unlocked device. Verify the model number before paying for it, as returning the phone takes an act of Congress. Specifically, don't let them talk you into buying a Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile model. Those models are often cheaper because the carrier gives some kind of subsidy for it. My experience with the store clerks has been that about half of them try to push hard for you to buy other stuff from them, like insurance policies, phone cases, and such. Just say no to the extra offers and you should be fine. Used phone stores or other local secondhand stores. Buying a secondhand phone in person is another viable option. If you choose to take this route, before you pay for the phone, power it on and make sure you can get to the OEM unlock option via Settings, then tap on About Phone and repeatedly tap on the Build Number menu until the developer option shows up. Then go to Settings, System, Developer Options, and see that it lists OEM unlocking as an option and that you can turn it on. As long as it turns on, you should be good to go. Google website. You can go to google.com/pixel and order it from there. However, then you'll have to pay with a credit card that will be tracked, and if you have Google ship it to your home address, Google will now know that you got one with all of the information about the device and conveniently ties the device to you and to your home address. You could have it shipped to a friend and pay the friend with cash for the use of their credit card for better privacy. One advantage of buying the phone directly from Google is that they usually have the best price on new devices. If you're looking for used Pixel phones, you should be able to find them on Amazon, eBay, Gazelle, or Swappa. Take the necessary precautions if you buy from Amazon or eBay. Amazon in particular has incredible technology to know everything about your habits if you use their services at all, or even visit their website and search for something without ever logging on. eBay is another huge company that is not privacy friendly. Gazelle, Swappa, and other smaller electronics dealers are likely to be a better choice than the massive giants that are in cohorts with the surveillance state. Even then, you will want to use an anonymous Visa gift card and a fictitious name for the purchase, and shipping the package to an address that isn't easily tracked to you. My company, PrivacyProShop.com, can sell a Pixel phone to you too. We have access to new Pixel phones via the official IT distribution channels, and we can ship anywhere in the world. We accept cryptocurrencies for payment for complete anonymity. You can also choose to send cash via postal mail. You could even drop off the cash if you live near Longview, Washington, or Phoenix, Arizona, where we have offices. If you wish to have GrapheneOS loaded by us on the phone, we can do that for an additional fee. If you're buying these phones for your business, we can handle integrating the proper apps if necessary. And if you need support for your GrapheneOS device, we have support packages available, including full remote support using industry-standard secure remote access tools. I've been in the IT support business for over 25 years. I guess that's why I've lost most of my hair by now. If you're interested in purchasing from us, please visit PrivacyProShop.com/phones for more information. Which model should I buy? That depends on what's available, what your budget is, what your preferences are, how you plan on using the phone, and what kind of normal phone you're coming from. Recent production Pixel phones have 3 classes of devices. Number 1, premium phones. Those have the Pro suffix, such as 6 Pro and 7 Pro. Second, they have mainline phones like the 6 and 7 that have the same processor as the Pro versions, so they're every bit as fast, but they have fewer bells and whistles. And number 3, they have low-end phones which have the letter A as suffix, such as the Pixel 5a and 6a, which are introduced from 6 months to a year after the mainline and premium phones come out. Pixel 6a, 7, and 7 Pro are the current production models, so they generally have the best availability, best performance, and longest support. That support lasts through October of 2027. So, for most people, it makes sense to get one of the 3. However, there may be reasons why you might want to get an older generation phone. I'll cover that later. Durability. If you are concerned about durability against accidental screen breakage, then you should buy one of the premium or mainline phones. The 4, 4XL, 5, 6, 6 Pro, 7, or 7 Pro, as they include the much stronger Gorilla Glass 5, 6, or the newest Gorilla Glass Victus. Google uses Gorilla Glass 3 in the cheap A models like 4A, 5A, and 6A. I have seen many broken 4A, 4A5G, and 5A screens. It seems like the smallest drops break the screens on those devices. Price. If low price is your biggest concern, then the 6A is your best choice of the current production phones. However, you can find earlier models even cheaper, especially used phones. Look on Gazelle or Swappa to get an idea what they're going for. Performance compared to normal phones. If you are coming from a modern iPhone or standard Android, like the latest Samsung models, then your best bet is to have the Pixel 7 or 7 Pro. They have much faster graphics processing unit, somewhat faster CPU, and better cellular radio than the previous generation models. If you're used to the incredible speed and response of the modern flagship phones, you will immediately notice that GrapheneOS is slower. GrapheneOS is sometimes a lot slower than the stock Android that comes with the phone out of the box. Pixel phones, especially the older 4 and 5 series models, rely on Google's excellent software for a part of the speedy performance. And installing GrapheneOS wipes all those software-borne performance advantages away. So, to compensate for that, you need to get a faster device. On the other hand, if you're coming from an older, slower device, any GrapheneOS phone should feel acceptably fast. Speed is a lot about perception and previous experiences. Performance comparisons of the different models. The slowest one is the 4A. It has the Snapdragon 730 CPU. And then there's a five-way tie. The 4 and 4 XL, which have the Snapdragon 855 CPU. The 4A 5G, 5 and 5A, which have the Snapdragon 765G CPU. They are almost exactly identical in speed. And then there are the much faster 6A, 6, and 6 Pro, which have the Google's own Tensor CPU. There is a really big jump in performance from the 4 and 5 series to the 6 series. The fastest, which are the 7 and the 7 Pro. They include the Google's own Tensor 2 CPU. It is more of an incremental upgrade with many improvements and bug fixes, but not a dramatically different speed from the previous generation, that is the 6th generation. Battery life. Generally, the battery life with Pixel devices running GrapheneOS is good. You should be able to get a full day's usage out of them unless you use your phone really heavily. The one exception to a decent battery life in the Pixel lineup is the old Pixel 4, as it only has a small 2800 milliamp battery combined with a 90 Hz display. Its battery life is terrible. GrapheneOS uses amazingly little power right out of the box, and your phone might last 2 days under typical use. However, that changes when you start running background poll services, as GrapheneOS doesn't have Google's Firebase push notification system. So, if you just check your messages instead of being notified of new messages on Session, Signal, Telegram, email, and such, the battery life is going to be good and stay good. However, most people end up running those apps in the background so they can be notified of new messages, and that will cause faster battery drain. GrapheneOS allows the installation of Google Play services, which includes the Firebase push notifications that make all the app notifications work through Google Play services, eliminating the need to run all of the apps separately in the background. However, that requires giving network access to Google software, and I am unwilling to do that, even when it runs in a sandboxed environment. You will have to evaluate that yourself. Is battery life more important to you than privacy? If battery life is the biggest concern, then you might want to get the Pixel 5a. It has a large battery, slower processor, and the slower 60 Hz screen refresh rate, so it'll last a really long time. Pixel 6a is quite good too. The mainline Pixel 6 and 6 Pro devices have lesser battery life when on 5G because the modem is an older 5G model that has poor power management. If that is an issue for you, you can change the phone to use only 4G LTE. This same might also apply to 4A 5G, 5 and 5A Pixel models, as they all have the older 5G modems. Pixel 6 series also tends to get quite hot, and a hot phone drains the battery rapidly. Heating issue is fixed in the Pixel 7 series of phones, and therefore battery life is better with Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. Charging. Pixel phones support fast charging, but aren't really super fast. Even the fastest Pixel 6 and 7 phones take about an hour and 45 minutes to fully charge from empty. Google says that you can charge the 6 and 7 series phones to 50% in 30 minutes when using Google's own 30-watt charger. That kind of sounds they would support 30-watt charging. They don't. The fastest they go is about 25 watts, and then only very briefly. Charging then slows down to less than 20 watts after 50% and to single-digit wattage when it's past 80% charge to protect the battery. That's called adaptive charging. Also, you'll need to buy the 30-watt fast charger as there's no charger of any kind in the box with the 6 or 7 series phones. The earlier models have 18-watt fast charging and have a charger in the box that can charge the battery to full in just over 2 hours. If wireless charging matters to you, all of the premium and mainline Pixel devices have it, and the latest 6 and 7 series Pixel models have 21-watt fast wireless charging. The budget-friendly A-series phones don't have wireless charging. Do you use Session Private Messenger, the onion-routed, completely anonymous messenger that doesn't ask for your phone number or email address? If you don't, you should. If you do, you may have noticed that the 66-character hexadecimal Session ID is kind of a hassle to share with your family and friends. Session has a built-in naming system where you can buy your own permanent Session name with Oxen cryptocurrency. If you don't have Oxen, you can buy the name with major cryptocurrencies or credit cards. It's only $5 at this time, and you can be anonymous when paying with cryptos. Go to PrivacyProShop.com to buy your own Session ONS username. Camera. If a camera with an optical zoom lens is important, then the 6 Pro and 7 Pro are the best choices, as they have a 4x and 5x optical zoom telephoto lenses, respectively, in addition to wide and ultra-wide cameras. The older 4 and 4XL have a fixed focal length 2x telephoto. The 6 Pro, 7 and 7 Pro have new 48 and 50 megapixel cameras in addition to the 12 megapixel Old Faithful. If you are a selfie taker, the Pixel 6 Pro, 7 and 7 Pro have an ultra-wide front-facing selfie camera that fits more people in the same picture. A thing to remember with GrapheneOS is that the open source camera apps like Open Camera, Libre Camera, and the GrapheneOS default camera apps are slow and don't have any of the software magic goodness of Google's own camera app. Pictures taken with open source apps look fantastic, but Google's own camera app is a truly magic piece of software working in conjunction with their hardware and produces beautifully enhanced photos. It is possible to install the Google camera on GrapheneOS if you feel comfortable installing Google proprietary software, like the camera app, in your device. If you're willing to play with fire, at least make sure that you have a fire extinguisher at hand. Disable any access to location or network for the Google camera app. Fingerprint Reader. If you want a true hardware fingerprint reader, then the 4A, 4A5G, 5 and 5A models are for you. They have a physical fingerprint reader in the back. The 6 and 7 models include an optical fingerprint reader built into the bottom of the screen. The fingerprint reader is pretty bad in the 6 series phones. It is much improved in the Pixel 7 series. Face Unlock. If you want Face Unlock, the Pixel 4, 4XL, 7, and 7 Pro series have them. Face Unlock works really fast and reliably on GrapheneOS, but I sometimes find it annoying because the phone unlocks just by quickly glancing at the phone. It is sure convenient, but has its risks. Evaluate if it fits in your threat model. 3.5mm headphone jack. The newest model with the headphone jack is the Pixel 5a. It is also present in 4A and 4A5G. None of the premium or mainline phones have a headphone jack, which is a shame as wired headphones don't require charging. You could also get a USB-C headphone, so if you want wired headphones, it is possible. Call me weird, but I find it kind of scary to have a radio transmitter in my ears all the time in the form of wireless earbuds. I will use my wired headphones. Thank you very much. Water resistance. Pixel versions 4 and 4 XL, 5, 5A, 6, and 6 Pro, as well as 6A, 7, and 7 Pro are designed to be water resistant. The premium and mainline devices have IP rating of 68. IP stands for ingress protection, and the first digit, which is 6, means that it is dust tight, completely protected against dust. The second digit, which is 8, means the equipment is suitable for continuous immersion in over 1 meter of water. The 5A and 6A budget phones comply with the lower IP67 standard, which is completely dustproof and can handle immersion of up to 1 meter in depth without allowing harmful quantities of water inside of it. I don't know about you, but the IP68 description sure sounds better. Quote, equipment is suitable for continuous immersion in water, end quote. Google points out that water resistance will change over time due to drops and normal wear and tear. Any repairs done to the device, such as a screen replacement, and that water in the device voids the warranty. I find that kind of funny. Yes, it is waterproof, but if you get water inside of it, we no longer guarantee it. Storage speed and size. The SSD in 6 and 7 series Pixel phones is based on UFS 3.1 that has nearly 3 times the speed of the older UFS 2.1 SSD storage devices found in the Pixel 4 and 5 series phones. That partially helps to explain why the 6 and 7 series Pixel phones are so much faster than the older 4 and 5 series. Size of storage depends on the model. The oldest 4 and 4 XL models come with either a 64 or 128 gigabyte SSD. The budget A models all have a 128 gigabyte SSD. The recent mainline models include 128 or 256, and the highest end Pro models add a 512 gigabyte option. Screen size. If you want a really big screen, the Pixel Pros have a 6.7-inch screen. If you want the smallest possible screen, then the Pixel 4 has a 5.7-inch screen and a 4A a 5.8-inch screen. All of the other models are between 6 and 6.4 inches. Screen quality. The best quality 120 Hz displays are found in the 6 Pro and 7 Pro Pixel devices, and they are the only devices with rounded screen edges. The 6 and 6 Pro screens aren't as bright as the 7 and 7 Pro, so in direct sunlight they aren't as good to use. The 4, 4 XL, 5, 6, and 7 have a 90 Hz display. The A-series budget phones have 60 Hz displays that aren't quite as smooth. However, I've never had a problem with a 60 Hz display flickering, but others may notice that, especially those who have had higher-end Apple or Samsung phones with those wonderful screens. 5G support. There are 3 flavors of 5G frequencies in use by the 3 major US wireless carriers. Number 1, low-frequency 5G that operates on the same frequencies as earlier 3G and 4G operated, from 600 MHz to 2.3 GHz generally. The advantage of this 5G is the largest coverage, but speeds that are barely higher than 4G. Number 2, mid-frequency 5G, which is also called C-band, that currently operates from 2.5 GHz to 4 GHz. Advantage of mid-frequency is decent coverage and relatively fast speeds, which can reach up to a couple hundred megabits per second. Number 3, millimeter wave 5G that operates on frequencies higher than 24 GHz. The advantage of millimeter wave is extremely high speeds, up to 4 gigabits per second, but extremely short coverage range. Therefore, they are only found in downtown cores of major cities. Low-frequency 5G and mid-frequency 5G are collectively called sub-6 by Pixel phones. The latest 7 series Pixel phones are the best bet if you want the fastest 5G experience, as they have better 5G modems and you can purchase a millimeter wave capable version of the unlocked phone. Many in the privacy community are concerned about the health effects of 5G, especially millimeter wave 5G. If you don't want any 5G in your phone, then your choices are the older Pixel 4, Pixel 4 XL, or Pixel 4a that don't have any 5G radio at all. If you don't mind having a sub-6 5G in your phone, you can buy any of the Pixel models with only a sub-6 5G radio. I will include a link in the description to the phone model numbers with and without millimeter wave radio. The packaging usually indicates what the phone has. It says either 5G sub-6 or 5G mmWave plus sub-6. Unless you spend time in a major city's downtown core, you will not be getting millimeter wave 5G in the foreseeable future, as it takes way too many towers to cover a substantial area. For instance, it is expected that to cover 95% of New York City with millimeter wave 5G, you would need about 60,000 cells. Most of the current 5G networks are running on the same frequencies as 4G LTE networks, especially in the rural areas for largest possible coverage. As far as mid-frequency deployments go, T-Mobile has their faster mid-frequency 5G that is running on the 2.5 GHz spectrum, which is just barely higher than the highest current 4G frequencies. AT&T's faster mid-frequency 5G runs on the frequencies between 3.4 and 4 GHz. Verizon's faster mid-frequency 5G runs on frequencies between 3.7 and 4 GHz. And that's all she wrote. Have a happy day.